Peace, peace. How you doing? How y'all feeling today? Man, I've been people been telling me about this situation where these young men have been coming forward talking about having had sexual relationships with Michael Jackson when they were boys. And I don't know about you all, but it's all quite disturbing and very unpleasant seeming. So, something I want to talk about. Michael Jackson, what a special human being. I mean, everybody loved Michael Jackson. I mean, there's not really anybody who doesn't like Michael Jackson or didn't like Michael Jackson at some point in time, you know. And I think that what we have to come to accept about Michael Jackson, if we're going to start to believe maybe some of these things that are being said about him, because it does seem like maybe there's some truth to these stories. I would say with a good degree of certainty that Michael Jackson himself was probably molested. I mean, are people thinking about that? Just if we take our minds back to the time of the Jackson 5, he was a little boy. He was very young, like 6, extremely bright, with a voice from heaven. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they used to call him like the little man or the old man because he was like, he almost seemed like he was an adult in a child's body. That's what they said about him. And my particular belief in my heart, I feel like people didn't keep their hands off that young boy. I think that that's what happened to Michael Jackson. That adults were having sex with him when he was young. And this is the thing. This is the thing about this situation, because if you understand what these men were saying about their relationship with Michael Jackson, they weren't saying Michael Jackson raped them. They were saying that they were actually in a relationship with him, that they were in love. Do you see? This is a taboo topic because what we're talking about is adult child sexual relationships, not forced sex, but a seduction in which the child and the adult are in an agreed sexual experience. And this is like, I know it's not cool to talk about this, but this is for real. And it seems like it's like almost like it's a secret society, I believe, on our planet of a lineage of adults who have sex with children, who then, when the children become adults, they have sex with children. And I believe that that's really what we might be dealing with here. And if you take your mind, once again, the past, the future, the present, it's all a continuum. We have to go back into the past when people lived differently. We might have to go back to a time when people lived much more in a brutal relationship with one another. Getting these nonstop text messages. And you think about back when villages waged war, when smaller groups of people waged bloody warfare, when one group would conquer another group, when the men would kill each other, basically. What would happen to the women and children of the village or the people who were conquered? They would be enslaved, and they would be used outside of work as sex slaves, man. The women were going to be concubines, and the children were going to be in a similar position. So on this planet, we do have a long, dark history of adults and children having sex. So I don't really want to spend a whole lot of more time with this right now, but because there was a point where I'm feeling like, do I even want to listen to this man's music anymore, speaking about Michael Jackson? And that's when my heart touched on the reality of, the man never really had a chance. And I don't know how we can have this discussion, how we can bring some kind of understanding to these relationships, because if you understand sexual energy, right, those first orgasms that you have sexually, they program you, man. You're programmed. It's like they say, like when a baby duck is born, the first moving form that it sees, it just imprints on and follows. It's usually its mother. But if it was a dog, they would follow the dog. The primary orgasms are much like that. Those first orgasms, you are going to be programmed to want to have those experiences again. So if you're a child having orgasms with an adult and vice versa, do you see what I'm saying? So this is something that needs to be talked about openly because we have to figure out a way if adults and children having sex is something that we see as taboo, and we all agree the age of 18 is consent. We're going to have to do something to break these secret societies, these lineages that come out of our past of adults and children having sex together. So, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think about it. Comment. This is something a topic that I'm obviously disturbed by, but it's something that's in our society that needs to be dealt with in the present moment. So, hey, there it is. Hey, have a good day. And still gotta love Michael Jackson though. The man was a genius and beautiful human being.